So today we're going to be going over the first quest in Act 6, which is the Sabretooth boss. As it's your first quest, it's going to kind of give you an idea of the difficulty level to come and further beyond quests and bosses, and the idea of just how annoying it is to get through certain portions of Act 6. And we start off with a very annoying node, everyone's favorite no retreat node. Now, this node absolutely sucks, especially considering the first boss you're going to find yourself going down the optimal path to fight being Anti-Venom. This guy is one of the most annoying champs, excuse me. I play other games too. Champs to fight in this entire game because, he's got a 70% chance to purify any and all debuffs, which is very annoying. So very annoying. Because if you stun him, there's a 70% chance that's not going to do a damn thing and he's going to be hitting right back into you. His heavy is also very difficult to walk around, and you're going to have to accept that you're going to have lost some health in this fight just due to the fact that his heavy is a lunge kick and it requires you to dex back twice. And you have to play aggressive and intercept him because, like I said, you cannot rely on the parry mastery and getting that stun because he's got that 70% chance to shrug it off. You also cannot rely prominently on characters who deal non-damaging or damaging debuffs to do damage to the offender and basically juice their attack. You want ones that are able to do passive damage through whether that be energy burst damage, Shang-Chi's, for example, physical damage on every single one of his hits when he's awakened, etc., etc. The idea, though, is you do not want to use a champ that relies specifically on debuffs to be able to do large amounts of damage. You will have a wasted effort doing so against Anti-Venom. But the second fight is actually arguably harder because of Aspect of Death and Tyranny. Now, these two nodes combined force you to play extra careful and to use a villain if you would like to get this fight done quick enough. Because let's be honest, Red Skull can be a very annoying defender. He can sometimes dash back and hold block. And as you're well aware, he will power burn you if you hit into his block. And it does a massive amount of damage. I think if you are power burn immune or any form of power manipulation, it doesn't do damage. But if he just threw a special attack, 1 or 2, and then goes back to block, and you eat into his block, and he doesn't power burn you, Aspect of Death for 4 seconds plus the 1 second for each member knocked out on the attacker's team, the attacks become lethal. In other words, that exact combo I just said, he hits you and you're dead. You're dead. Like that. And again, keep in mind, villains are the only ones that are able to actually gain power. So if you go to this champ list that I have, and you want to go to a cosmic villain, if you have one. If you don't, any villain will work, but like a Venom, a Gore, a King Groot, a Nihilus, anyone that is a cosmic villain can still gain power and manage their way through this fight. Now, again, they have to be a said villain tagged champ to gain power. So there's plenty of other options out there that you could have gained at this point. I mean, a Mordo would work, an Apocalypse, a Killmonger, a Mysterio, a MODOK. As long as they're a villain, they'll still gain power. You're just going to have a harder time playing around Red Skull's abilities if you're not using a cosmic villain who is immune to power manipulation. And there is, I think to the best of my knowledge, I don't think there is a villain that's immune to power manipulation. I could be wrong, but based on this list, none of these guys are. So, again, you want to go in with a villain, and you're going to just have to play that fight really carefully, because if you get hit one time after he throws that special attack, he has a lethal hit that just one taps you and you're dead. The next fight You can obviously use CGR or anyone that applies armor breaks to be able to do significantly increased damage to the defender. The only thing you're going to have to watch out for is the way you do the rotation. So specifically for CGR, the way I did it and the way it worked for me, and I am by no means the best CGR player, that would be Slayer of Gods, who has done numerous breakdowns of the different rotations and the different ways to use Ghost Rider CGR, obviously, and a bunch of different kinds of matchups and scenarios that require you to do either a different order or maybe like not use certain judgments that would give you a buff that would then, make you have that buff on you then nullified due to the node and dealing bursts of damage equal to the defender's attack rating or armor rating, however it's listed. But the point is, give him a look, Slayer of Gods, YouTube. He's who I watched to get a really good understanding of how to basically play CGR. And the only thing that I would say in this particular fight for my playing him, because this took me quite a few attempts just in this one particular fight to kind of get the idea of how I'm going to do the rotation. Since his SP1 is unblockable, and if you dash back twice because of no retreat, you get whacked, I found it's actually the better idea to do your dex around his SP1. So you want to get all of your other things in. So basically, start with a heavy, then parry. You do a medium, light, medium, and then a medium, light, which gives you the power gain buff. Then when he throws his SP1, you're going to dex back, heavy charge bait into a special 2 because he should charge right in at you because the AI moving forward is going to be much better at being aggressive, throwing their specials just for the most part, and less stupid is how I've always called it because they're going to be doing less dashing back and holding block and giving you opportunities to actually intercept. So that is a big plus there. Again, that would be the one thing I would say about that fight is to, you're going to want to make sure you play around that SP1, make sure you're paying attention because it is an unblockable hit. It's not too terribly difficult to dex. You just got to make sure you're paying attention to the power level. And obviously, everyone's favorite first boss in Act 6, the Sabertooth Oscillate node. Now, this guy here, every 15 seconds, the defender is going to alternate between a Fury passive, which is going to increase his base attack by 300%, and an Armor Up / Crit Resistance passive, increasing armor and crit resist by 3,000. These passives are unaffected by ability accuracy modification. So in other words, you cannot use a champion like Wiccan who can basically take every single one of the buffs you have on you, convert them using his Neutralize to a Incinerate, and then throwing SP2s and basically obliterating you from the face of the earth. He also has Indomitable, so his healing abilities can't be reversed, so you can't go in there with like Anti-Venom or Void or anyone that is able to do damage to you by reversing your healing, but they will still be able to be prevented. So you can still prevent the healing, so you can use heal block characters. You cannot use healing reversal characters. And of course, you still have no retreat. So I had to use, I believe I used CGR, and I don't think I yet had the 6-star. I was using a 5-star Awakened CGR, and I was able to get him down, although it took a few revives. Again, he's a very difficult boss to have to fight right out of the gate, but it is doable. You just have to be patient and be willing to accept that it's going to take a few attempts. It's going to take a few revives. And when you get to that point, you could honestly throw your whole team at it to get it down. And then, revive the one character that you see has done the best amount of damage or that you have the most comfortability playing with. And then, from there, revive them and continue until the fight's down. But it is going to be a grudge match is the best way to put it because of the no retreat node paired with Oscillate, because you're going to be doing hardly any damage. And it's just not a fun time at all. So there you have it. That is Act 6, Chapter 1, Easy Path, the easiest path to deal with. Again, the troubles here are Anti-Venom, the Red Skull, which requires a villain, otherwise you don't gain power, and Oscillate Sabertooth. Y'all have a good day, and I'll check y'all on the next one. Take care. Bye.